to learn to live the off-grid lifestyle and to be inspired to live your dreams, click subscribe so you don't miss anything. Click the bell notification. It's all free. So I thought I'd come down here and let the chickens out. It looks like we're missing a couple. They may be laying eggs. But I thought I'd let the chickens out and talk about chickens and farming and livestock. Give them some corn. I'm trying to fatten them up for the winter. That way they'll keep warmer. Yeah. Here comes Frenchie, the white one. He's very polite to his girls. I don't think a lot of people would consider chickens a pet, but I sure have enjoyed them. They provide me with food, first of all, and they don't cost as much as what a dog would cost. I have 14 chickens. I'm missing 2. So I'm gonna go around over here. I got 14, but I'm missing 2 right now. 1, 2, 3. Oh, there comes 1. There's 13. Maybe there's another one in there. We'll check it out. See if she's laying an egg. Heard a coyote this morning and a fox. Well, yeah, there she is. Hopefully you can see that. So that counts for all of them now. So, heard a fox this morning. Well, just a few minutes ago, heard a coyote this morning. So I've been a little worried. Of course, they go into the coop at night, so we don't have any troubles at night. But during the day, I want to keep an eye on them. But that fox, he was noisy. So I wanted to come out and talk about these chickens, how they're pets. You got to be careful not to get too attached because you might have to eat one of these pets. We raised meat birds over the summer and had a lot of success with that, but I think next year we'll let these guys reproduce. We'll get some chickens out of them, little chicks, and we'll raise those for, I don't know, 6, 7 months, and we'll butcher them. We won't get as many, but of course we'll get pigs. I got to be careful with them going too far into the woods. They do get lost. I know people keep saying just let them go, they'll come back, but I had 3 of them out there, 2 or 3, I can't remember. And they were lost. They just could not figure out how to get back home. So I had to go out there and get them and shoo them back this direction. They just got turned around. Frenchie's pretty good about keeping them all together, but then we got Rue. Rue's the other rooster. He's a little rebellious. He doesn't listen to Frenchie, so he goes way out there. Well, then his girls, he's an Americana, so his girls, like these 3 here are Americanas. They follow him. The others don't. The Buffs and the New Hampshires don't follow him, but his Americanas do. They were raised together, of course. So once he gets to misbehaving and not listen to Frenchie, his girls will follow him. So, but it's a lot of fun. I let them out a few minutes a day. Our biggest trouble is flying predators, eagles, hawks. Frenchie's really good about spotting them, and he makes just a little grunt noise. And everybody knows what that noise means, and they all run inside. The only ones that don't go in, believe it or not, are his girls, the ones he was raised with, which are the Buff Orpingtons. They don't listen to him. I don't know why. So I got to shoo them in, but at least he lets me know that there's a flying animal. But they sure have been a pleasure, and they're not a lot of work. The meat birds were a lot of work, but these chickens, I could literally just leave them down here all day long. I come down in the evening, right when they go to bed. I got these dusk to dawn flashy lights. When they start flashing, it's like their cue to go inside. Of course, they can't see them, but it's my cue to know that they probably went inside by then. So I come down and I feed them a little bit. That doesn't cost a lot. 40-pound bag is lasting me probably a month now, and that's like $12. And these guys are going to give us plenty of food, eggs. Now, I recognize that people are going to say, I don't want to just eat eggs all the time. You can mix eggs in with a lot of things. See, that's what happens right there. That's the Americanas. And you see that Rue's in the middle of it all. He's right there. He causes all those troubles, and the Frenchie's got to bring them all back in and spank them and peck on them. Weird behavior. It's like we have 2 flocks. I mean, they intermingle, but it's like we have 2 flocks. But we're going to keep both roosters. That way we get more genetic DNA, you know. That way we're not having Frenchie breed with his daughters later. A lot of fun. I was watching a video today from actually a mainstream news source. They were talking about farmers, specifically one farmer, dairy farmer. He was in California. He's family business for 94 years. His daughter is currently taking it over. I think she's probably, if I had to guess, late 20s, early 30s. They had to move from California to Tennessee. Now, remember, they'd been in business for generations. They moved because the regulations of California just got too unbearable. They just couldn't raise cows there anymore. And we've all heard why. I mean, all of us know why. I mean, tons of reasons. Water restrictions, grain prices were too high, so they moved to Tennessee, moved their whole operation to Tennessee. Well, the same thing's happening to them in Tennessee. Now, Tennessee isn't the reason they're having problems. It's the federal government. It's basically doing the same thing that, get down there, that California did. His daughter said, I'm probably the last generation that's going to be doing this farm. She doesn't see raising cows, dairy food as a substantial business model anymore. Government's just ran them out of business. So government is giving them money right now because of the virus. So they're getting some subsidies, but they don't expect that to last forever, and they don't want to take it. They say they make a good product, but I can't sell it. They've rearranged the pricing model of the farmer where the processors are getting all the money, not the farmer. And so the processors, what they're doing is paying off politicians to give them a bunch of money to process milk and cheeses and all that, and leaving the farmer out of it. Well, if farmers got higher costs in grain now, so what she has done, she's decided that she's going to start producing cheese as well to kind of offset the price of the grain. I mean, she's trying to use a business model. The problem is a lot of farmers, they're not businessmen, they're farmers. I ran a business once, and the thing is you want to do what it is that you do, but you end up doing all the other stuff, the accounting and all that. Well, these farmers, they're not into all that. And I understand it. They just want to raise some cows, make some milk, and send it off to the market. Seems simple enough, but they can't do it anymore. So she's even saying she doesn't have the knowledge to do it. So it'll probably die with her. My guess is it'll die before she does. It'll probably end, they'll just run her out of business. She said what they're doing is they're trying to force us to eat plant-based foods and bugs. And this has been a thing I've been hearing for a while, that these bug companies making bugs, are really starting to gain some momentum. And it seems like in a few years, they're actually going to convince us to eat bugs. Well, they won't convince me of eating bugs. I guess the reason I'm bringing up this video is I've seen this coming for decades. I've said many times, I used to be a conspiracy theorist, and I just didn't want to be fearful all the time. The way to do that is to get away from it. Get off grid. I don't have to worry about the power company, the water company, the sewer company. Come out here in the middle of nowhere in the country, and nobody cares what you're doing. Food is the one thing that I've always worried about. Am I going to be able to survive? And now I got the chickens. I think I should always be able to survive. We'll get enough eggs. Now, the thing I'm starting to learn is eggs are starting to become considered a superfood. It used to be that only vegetables and fruits were considered superfoods. But the thinking has really shifted here in the last, I don't know, maybe 5 years, 3 years, 2 years. And they're starting to say meats are starting to become a superfood. They got all your vitamins and nutritions and everything you need. So why not eat a superfood all? Well, then of course I've told you that we're going to raise pigs, and I don't want to spend a lot of time talking about pigs today, but we're going to raise pigs. We're going to get 2 of them. Now my mom has asked, would I raise a pig for her if she bought the pig and the food? And of course I would. So she's going to think about it and see if she wants to do that. This is the kind of thinking I'm hoping that I can convince a lot of people. I was really happy to hear Mom say this. First of all, it's going to be a healthier pig. We're not going to inject it with a bunch of stuff or feed it a bunch of stuff that doesn't need to be fed. I mean, you look at the store foods now, and they all look disgusting. It's the meat section, everything's greenish or grayish color. It's terrible looking. We know, at least we're pretty certain, that they're going to get rid of meat. I don't know how fast this is going to happen, but in a generation, let's say it's another, she's 30 years, let's say within another 30 years, all meat-based products are going to be gone. And they're going to be feeding us plant-based. Soy. Well, we already know the soy is very bad for males. What can we do now so we can get away from having to buy food at the store? Well, one idea is go to the livestock auction. I used to do this. I don't know how much livestock are now, pig, but you can go to the livestock 10, 15 years ago, pick up a pig for $100, $110. You outbid all the people who are trying to get good deals. And then there's always a guy in the area somewhere that will slaughter the animal. Then that guy takes it over to the butcher, and the butcher makes cuts of meat. We did that one time before I started butchering my own. It was a little bit more expensive than doing it on your own, but it was worth it. They're all getting rambunctious again. They just fly around. I don't know, there might be a bird in the area and Frenchie's trying to put them away or something. So that's one way to do it. Now, another thing you could do is raise rabbits. Rabbits are easy to raise almost anywhere. You can raise them in your garage, and I have raised them in my garage. I'm not a big rabbit fan, I'll be honest. If Carolyn decided she wanted to raise rabbits, we would do it. We got chickens and we're very happy with chickens. So rabbits is the one I want to really push, because a lot of people say I can't raise chickens in my municipality. Well, they're not going to stop you from raising rabbits. I had to put them away. They got all rambunctious and started flapping all over the place and heading into the woods. I think rabbits is a pretty simple thing to do. Get yourself one or two of them so you can learn how to do it and expand from there. And then of course chickens. You need a little bit more space for chickens. You need a backyard. You need to be able to protect them from the birds. But if you don't get a rooster, there are a lot of municipalities now that allow you to raise chickens. But we're gonna have to do something, because I do think we're getting to a time where they're just gonna force us to eat junk. So I hope I can inspire you to take a look at your farm animals so you can live your dream. Thanks for watching.